Sorry about that, guys. My phone died. I didn't think I would stay on live that long. But I'm going to just do it real quick, the next 5 minutes. Probably just answer like maybe 1 or 2 more questions, and then I'll see you guys maybe once a week. Probably get on here maybe like, let's say Mondays or something like that, Fridays, whatever you guys choose. Actually, yes, Nati, the next build will have AC. This particular build behind me was actually supposed to have AC, but we took it a little bit further than we were supposed to. What's up, KO Built, man? Appreciate you. Another one of the guys I've noticed since day one. You're always showing support. I really appreciate that. But yeah, like I was saying, this car behind me was actually supposed to have a AC system, but I kind of changed my mind after getting the car because I wanted to make it more fun, like kind of racy in a way. I've never done a car, how can I say, I've never done a car where it's a strictly race car. This car, I really don't need to drive it on the street, so I made it a little bit more of a race car, but then kept some of the OEM touches that I like to put on cars. So yeah, we will have AC in the next car. The next car, we're gonna take that car everywhere. We're gonna daily the car. We're gonna put a GoPro in a really slick location to where anytime we find like a street run or something like that, it'll always be on the camera. I use the OEM Honda grease. You don't want to use nothing else. Go to Honda, and they sell this little jar. It looks like a little, it's just like a little small white jar, and it has grease for anything you need, like your bearings, your throwout bearings, your whatever that needs to be greased. Use a little bit of that OEM Honda grease, and that's all you need. Same thing with the Honda Bond. Make sure you guys are using Honda Bond. Don't go and get that RVT, whatever it's called, or I'm not even sure the name of it, the brand from AutoZone. Don't use that stuff. Go to Honda. They have the one that comes in the tube now. I don't have it with me right now. If not, I will show it to you guys. It comes in a tube, and you press the little button, and it just lays it out. It lays the silicone out perfect. Yes, Ray. Go to your local Honda dealership and order it. Even if they don't have it, just order it. Most of the stuff they get it like in 1 or 2 days. All my parts for my car, they were ordered from Honda. A lot of my parts, even when it comes to hardware, the battery. I'll show you guys real quick the battery. A lot of people really like this part of my build. So here's the stock Honda battery. So not only does the battery look good, Honda offers a 36-month warranty. And you just can't beat that for $129 versus going to AutoZone and buying a $200 battery, $189, and you only get a few months warranty, and it's not even a factory part. So that's just one of the ideas. That's the stock Honda battery, Ray. Just go to your local Honda dealership, um, give them the year of your car, and they should have the battery in stock, most likely. Pretty much all the batteries are the same. So all the Honda Civics used it. The only one that changes is like the dual battery. Yeah, I'll show you how I did my charge harness really fast. Very simple. I do have a video on haha KO built. Shouldn't you weren't supposed to see that. All right, so the charge harness, what I did, really hard to see it. So this is the plug, and it goes to the actual harness. So what I did was I spliced the original charge harness and made it into a 3-plug, and then I just went from the starter to the alternator and then to my knock sensor. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. And then what I did was from the power wire right here, and then the power wire to the starter back here, it just runs right here. This is the wire right here, and it runs right here, and then it comes back into the fuse box right here, both sides. I do have a video on my YouTube channel, so if you guys want to go back and look at it, there's a video on my YouTube channel showing how I spliced the charge harness, and then I went around this way. And the reason why I did it like this is just to kind of keep it stock looking. And I didn't even get too fancy with it. All I did was just black tape it and then zip tied it to the original harness. Maybe on my next build, I'll get a little bit more fancy with the wiring. I didn't get too fancy this time with it. So now, because of KO built, we won't be able to save this live because he exposed me. No, I'm just joking. Do you think it's necessary to have an oil cooler in a similar setup like yours? I personally don't think so. What I will recommend is if you're gonna be doing any type of road racing, like course racing, where the engine's running for like 45 minutes straight, an hour straight, then yeah, I would recommend the oil cooler. Actually, I used to keep the stock oil cooler when I used to part out motors. And there was a guy that used to build Miatas. He used to build Miatas for the track. And he would buy all the oil coolers from me to put them on the K24s for the Miata guys that used to go out road racing. So, yeah, if you can, and you're going to be road racing, yeah, oil cooler is a good idea. If you're just like a quarter-mile track, I wouldn't do it. Reason being, you're allowing the oil to go through a different passage instead of staying inside of the long block and doing its job. You're allowing room for air in the line, and then you're just causing, how can I say? You're allowing the oil to go somewhere it's not even supposed to be. So yeah, if you're road racing, good, oil cooler. If you're just quarter-mile racing, you really don't need it. But yeah, O's Rose, if you want to just go on my videos, I do have a charge harness video, exactly how I installed it into my car. Real simple. I might even, when I do start my shop, one of the first parts I know I'm gonna have for sure is my fuel system. A lot of guys like my fuel system, and I'm gonna set it up to where it's like E85 ready, and just offer it to the guys that would like to have it. Also, I'm gonna be on top of that, I'm gonna be designing, or already designed, the bracket that works with the Honda Accord throttle body. I'm also gonna be designing the charge harness, because right now there really isn't anywhere where you can buy a charge harness already built to where it's plug and play. There are a few out there, but I think they're overpriced. When I was in the market for one, I think they wanted like $100 to $200. I just don't think that's right, because all you're getting is two extended battery cables, realistically speaking. So yeah. Do you think the Accord K24 and the Accord 5-speed is the best budget combo for a four-door EK? Not really. The K24 out of an Accord, I mean, I'm guessing that motor still is gonna cost you between $400 and $600. I'm guessing. If I were you, I just put the extra few hundred to get the TSX K24. Big difference, big difference. It's like night and day from the Accord K24 and the TSX K24. Just a huge difference. What's up, Soggy Civic? And as far as a 5-speed transmission, I would go EP3 if you're gonna go with a 5-speed. The K24 is just way too long. It's gonna drag the motor. It's not even gonna feel good. So if you are gonna go with the K24, I would recommend the EP3 5-speed. That's the one. That's the transmission I had on my setup when I first got the car running, and it did pretty good. It pulled nice for a 5-speed. It was actually my first time trying the EP3 5-speed on a K24. Due to the K24 being stronger, I thought it would make the tranny, work good with it, which it did. It worked really good. I was really surprised on it. The K24 made that 5-speed tranny move. Yes, Dark Knight, get your hands on a K24A2 and then get your hands on an EP3 5-speed. That's going to be the best bang for your money. You cannot ask for any more. The EP3 transmission, you'll find it between $300 and $500. You shouldn't pay no more than that. They're not worth any more than that. Then the K24A2, if you land one at the junkyard, you're gonna spend between $300 and $500. If you can get yourself one from a shop, I would do that instead, because from a shop, they come with warranty and they're pretty fresh. So on the K24A2, you want to go with a 06, 07, or 08. But you want to stay away from the newer model 06, because those still came with the RBB2 head. You got to make sure it's an RBB3. Five-speed EP3 for high horsepower motor, or do a Z3 transmission for a all motor around 300 horsepower. You can go either or. So like my car, for what it is, I really like the all motor setup. I really like the gearing, really short gears with the Z3. But when the car's on nitrous, I feel like I'm going through the gears a little bit too fast, versus when I had the EP3 tranny. On the nitrous, it just felt perfect. The EP3 transmission, it just felt perfect. But because I wanted more out of the car on just the motor, is why I went with the Z3. But if I didn't care about the all motor side of the car and I just was worried about the nitrous part of the car, the EP3 tranny was perfect, man. I really liked my EP3 tranny on the nitrous. I don't regret taking it out, but I could have kept it like that for a little bit longer. I should have probably taken the car to the track on nitrous, with the 5-speed, just to see where we're at quarter mile, but I wasn't able to do it due to the coronavirus, so that kind of sucked. This car actually had a lot of plans this year. I started the car in December, and my plan was to go try everything at the track. EP3, K24 with the RBC manifold. That was supposed to be the first run. Then the second run was going to be Nitrous, K24, EP3 with the RBC. And then my plan was to go back with the RRC, Z3 tranny, RDX injectors on nitrous, and then just to see what that would have done. But it just kind of sucks. I wasn't able to do it like I planned on, so that kind of sucked. We missed out on a lot of content for the channel this year because we weren't able to get to the track. But hopefully next year's another year, and hopefully everything opens back up, and we're able to do it the way we wanted to do it. No, I'm not gonna be porting the oil pump. Ported oil pumps are really only necessary if you're pushing over, I want to say 400 horsepower, 500 horsepower, with a high revving engine, like you're taking your car to like 10,000 RPM, then yes, you will need a ported Type S oil pump. But for my setup, my K24, all you need is a Type S oil pump with no port. Just put the Type S oil pump, 50-degree cam gear, and then get yourself a nice tune. The K24 only makes power at about 8,000 to 8,500 RPMs due to the stroke. You really can't ask for more. Now, for me, like I said it earlier, it's not worth going with the springs retainers and doing the head work. It's just not worth it for the money. The way my car is gonna run on nitrous, shifting at 8,000 RPMs, it should be pretty nice, and I won't have to take my motor apart. And I actually want to race against guys that got built heads and built blocks, so we can compare well-built factory setup versus a well-built aftermarket setup, and then go from there. Kind of show you guys, is it really worth spending 6,000 on a head when I only lost by a car at the quarter mile, and I only spent 6,000 on my whole car? Those are the things I want to show you guys. If you guys have a big bank account, you guys can go fast. You guys, you can do anything. The world won't stop you. But for me, I mean, I'm not looking to be a hero. I'm not looking to be the fastest. I'm not looking to be the best Honda racer. None of that stuff. I just kind of want to show you guys the difference between building your car and then having fun versus someone that built their car so much that they're very touchy, like they don't even want to turn it on because they want to preserve the life on the engine. Things like that. So that's just my opinion on that stuff. Rodriguez Motorsports, how expensive is a nitrous setup? Actually, a nitrous setup is fairly cheap, man. I got my brand new nitrous outlet dry kit for only 300. I think it was $300 shipped to my house, if I'm not mistaken. It was only $300 with everything you need. And then all you have to do, obviously, is go fill up your nitrous bottle, which is going to cost you between 60 and $100, depending on the price of the nitrous. Here in California, the nitrous is going for $8 a pound. So it's about 80 to 100 bucks, give take, to fill up the bottle. No problem, Sandy. That suspension was actually still fairly new, and it actually rode really, really good. I had it on my car, and I really liked the way it rode, but I was just looking for that little bit extra stiffness, which is the only reason why I went Skunk 2. And because I was going so far into the car, it was only right to do the Skunk 2 suspension. But yeah, man, appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, Soggy Civic. So, Humble Performance is one of the guys doing it that has a big platform. He is very well known. He is a good guy, super humble guy too. He's a great tuner. He knows his stuff. He's been around Hondas for a very long time. And if I'm not mistaken, they just got a stock K24 into the 9s with just a turbo setup. The car is all race style car. It has slicks, is fully cut. It has a carbon roof, carbon hood, carbon trunk, super lightweight. So it's like race ready, the actual shell, but the long block is stock, if I'm not mistaken. They have a bone stock K20 in that car, and the car just broke the 9s. And then they have a few other cars where they have bone stock long blocks that are in the low 10s. So Humble Performance is already showing something that I want to show, but at a high level, because he's doing it with the turbos and, you know, with several different cars. So he's proving that a stock K-Series does not need all these fancy internal parts. Internal parts should only be used for like all motor cars, especially if you want to like set records. Then yeah, that's cool to do stuff like that. Happy Fixer. Yeah, man, just let me know if you need any tips for your build. There's so many different ways you can go as far as doing your build that fits you and your budget. Like I tell a lot of guys, they ask me, well, hey, what motor should I get? What transmission should I get? It's so many endless options. I wouldn't say endless. There's about 4 transmissions you can use, but then there's so many different setups you can use. So yeah, it's a lot of different options. It's just what your budget lets you use, pretty much. What do you think about an Accord LSD 6-speed transmission? Me personally, I have not tried one before. I do know that Hasport makes a motor mount for it. I have used the Accord shifter cables and box on a Z3 transmission before, which works the same. All you'll have to do is get that motor mount that Hasport sells, and it should be good. It should be good. I might be trying it actually on my next build. Just used to going with like the RSX or the EP3 or the Z3. But I'm really cool with the guy from HMO, Steve. And I'm going to try to use one of those Accord LSD transmissions just to kind of put it out there that it can be used. A lot of guys aren't using them, and there's very little light on those transmissions on how to install them. So it's very simple. All you need is the Accord shifter cables, the Accord shifter box. You're gonna need the K-Tune speed converter, which kind of sucks because I'm not gonna use this K-Tune speed converter. I know another way to do it, which is using the K-Tuner ECU. K-Tuner plugs right into the speed sensor, and it lets you bypass the speed converter from K-Tuned. So maybe show a little bit of light on that K-Tuner ECU as well. Not a lot of people are using the K-Tuner ECU, and it works just like K-Pro because I've actually used it before myself. J Sonic, I think. Let me see. J Sonic. Yeah, I didn't get your message, bro. If you just want to retype it real quick, just so I can read it. And thank you, man. Thank you for your words. Thank you for the support. Yeah, man. K Pro V4 does cost a little bit. But honestly, if you're gonna spend that kind of money, I would go with the AEM version 2. Just because you're gonna get a complete ECU and you don't have to wait for you ship yours in and get it back and all that stuff. And then with the weight right now on K-Pro, they've gone up in price just because K-Pro themselves can't get it. So they're floating around, but at a little bit higher price. I'm actually waiting on my version 2 just because I got it on a good deal. That's the only reason why I was willing to wait. They were on back order, so I should have it. I'm not even sure when I'm gonna get it, but I'll get it. It's already paid for and got it on a great deal. And because I'm not really in a rush with my car, it's not like a car that I drive every day. The car can sit. So yeah, if you are gonna overspend, because I know how they're going up in price, I would just go with the AEM version 2. What's your opinion on a K20A Euro R versus a K20A Type R? The K20A Euro R is very similar to the K20 Type R. The only difference on the two, it's gonna be the compression, and I believe the manifold is different. I could be wrong. Yeah, the Euro R comes with the RBC, and the Type R comes with the regular PRC style. But between the two, you really can't go wrong. They're very, very identical, and I know the Euro R is a little bit cheaper. I'm not sure exactly why. I never went into the actual specs of why it's cheaper. I know it doesn't come with the chromoly flywheel. I know if you're getting the FG2 Type R, it doesn't come with the RRC manifold. So there's just so many little different things within the engines that once you understand what you're getting, it's well worth it to go with the Euro R, because you're not paying all that extra money for some of the parts you don't even really need. Yeah, Soggy Civic. My guy Aki, real supportive guy. He supported me so much with my build. I've got a lot of parts from Ghost Boy Aki. I wouldn't say he sponsored me. I wouldn't say he sponsored my car either, but he definitely showed me a lot of love because I'm supporting him. I'm supporting Keep Gunning. My build is actually, how can I say? My build is actually built because of Keep Gunning. So my car is a Keep Gunning car. Regardless whether Aki sponsored it or not, the car was built because of Keep Gunning and his movement. I was actually out of Hondas for maybe 6-7 years. I would say like 6 years before I built this one, because I was still around Hondas. I was still working on them. I was still, distributing parts and stuff like that. But owning a car and building a car, I hadn't done one in about 6 years. So I used to watch Aki YouTube race when I was younger, And one day I just said, you know what, let me go on YouTube and see what's going on with Aki. I wonder what happened with him in his street racing. Well, I didn't know Aki left the sport also for about 5 years. So when I did run back into Aki on YouTube is when he made the intro video of him coming back into the sport. He was going to race and stuff like that. So I watched him for about a year. That's when he was building the AK-47. And just his vibe through the phone, man, just his vibe through the internet, it was so chill and so cool that I wanted to build a car just because of his movement. Like the way he treats people, the way he helps people. That's how the Honda community should be. But the Honda community got so ugly from 2010 to, like, I want to say 2015. It just, the Honda scene just wasn't the same. Something about it just wasn't the same. So when I came back in was because of Aki. So I do appreciate Aki a lot. I support him and pretty much everything he does. That guy is a real positive guy. We actually need more guys like that in the hobby. All right, Jay Sonic, I got my hood bra on eBay. I have maybe 3 or 4 sellers that are real trusted sellers that I buy all my stuff from. And some of the guys that I buy from are actually in Japan. So if you would like the link to my hood bra, just message me on Instagram and I'll send you the link to where I got my hood bra. Yeah, Rodriguez Motorsports. BZ Moto will be the guy that tunes my car. BZ Moto's a AEM sponsor and a dealer. He's also a Porsche engineer, so he knows a lot more than the average guy. And now because he's dealing with like the Tesla power and his Porsche EV power, which are electric cars, lets me know that he understands a lot more than the average guy. And I know BZ Moto has broken records when back in the day when he had his single cam turbo, and then he was one of the first to break records with the K-Series turbo. I think it was K-Series turbo. So BZ Moto is a well-known guy. He knows his stuff, and I want him to tune my car when my car is ready to be tuned. No problem, Randy. Thank you, bro, for supporting me. Yeah, Soggy Civic. Yeah, man. Nice that you build your car too because of Aki. Thank you, Marco. I really appreciate your words, man. I try to do clean work. I try to keep it clean. And I appreciate it that you say you're going to replicate the car for road racing. And it's kind of cool that you're going to do a hatchback because the car I'm looking for right now is a 99 white EK hatchback. That's the car I'm going to build for my daily, or like a daily build. I might not even daily the car, but it's going to be daily ready. We're going to do like a stock muffler. We're going to do the exhaust cutout, so when we want to race it, the car will have a nice airflow. We're going to do a lot of nice fun things on that car and just keep it real unique, keep it real clean, keep it real OEM. And I really don't like to use the word sleeper. I like to use more like the word clean, OEM, factory, stuff like that. But I want to make it a clean sleeper. I think it's going to be a true definition of a sleeper. Yes, Jesse, that's exactly what I have on my car right now. It's a K20Z3 water pump and housing. It bolts right up. Everything is plug and play. The reason why I went with the K20Z3 is because the alternator is a little bigger, or the way it charges the battery, it charges a little bit better. It doesn't make any difference. So just it was just by choice. I did the K20Z3 because the alternator does change. So make sure if you go K20Z3 pump housing, go with the K20Z3 alternator. Also, one thing a lot of guys don't know, if you do the K24 with the K20 water pump housing, you want to make sure you use the K20Z3 because if you have to change your water pump, I don't know why, but the water pump from a K20Z3 is the cheapest, which is like 160 bucks from Honda. If you go with the RSX Type S water pump housing, the water pump itself is like 220 or 200. And then if you guys go with the EP3 or base RSX, that water pump is about 300 from Honda. So stay away from the EP3 water pump housing, just because if you have to change your water pump too, that's gonna be a little bit pricey if you do go with the EP3. And because I don't like to use aftermarket parts, I wouldn't suggest any of you guys to go get a AutoZone part. I would only suggest OEM parts. So in order for you to do it right, make sure you guys get the K20Z3 water pump housing. And only for that reason. Because if you ever have to replace a water pump, it's going to be easier on the K20Z3. I appreciate it, Jesse. Send me a message on Instagram. That way I can follow your build. I would like to follow your progress. And yeah, man, Aki definitely inspired a lot of us, man. I don't think that guy really understands how much he really inspired a lot of us to do what we're doing. And really, he's not even getting nothing out of it, realistically speaking. Yeah, he has a large following. He has the AK-47. He does his merchandise. He does the car giveaways, all that stuff. And I'm really appreciative of him even doing that because he's showing us support through what he's doing. I remember back in the day when I was into racing, I used to like to wear nice clothes, nice shoes and stuff like that. So I always wondered, where can I get myself some Honda gear and still keep it clean? And Aki is really the first guy to do it. He is really the first one to create clothing and merchandise and keeping it clean at the same time. He's not just making shirts and hats to make money. He really is putting the time and effort into everything he's doing. Yeah, Marco. I used to actually have a four-door GSR with a K24 on Nitrous, and it had full interior. I had AC in it, and I would take my son to school every day in that car. And realistically, that car was built to take my son to school in it because my son asked me one time that if I could take him to school in my race car. And the race car I had at the time wasn't a car that I would even want any of the parents to see me in. The car was just loud and it looked like a race car. So I remember when I built my GSR four-door, I pretty much built that car just to take my son to school in it. And we did catch a few runs in it. I really don't like to race with my son in the car, but from stoplights and stuff like that, quick first, second, third gear pull, it was real fun. That car was fun. No, Royce. All I do is just kind of find my parts online. You gotta kind of be savvy at it. Know where to look. Know how to look. So I'll just give you one of the things I do. So, for instance, my Type S oil pump. Right now they're hard to find. You really can't get them. So what I did was I went online and got a wholesale price. So you go online, you find a OEM Honda dealership, and you get the wholesale price of the Type S oil pump. I printed out the piece of paper. I went to my local Honda dealer and I said, hey, look, there's another Honda dealer out of state selling this part for this price. And what they do is they price match. So for instance, my RDX injectors, I paid like 190 bucks because they price matched the wholesale price of a Honda dealer out of state. So that's one of the ways to get it. Some places do offer better pricing because they buy in bulk. So just certain things, man. As far as like OEM parts that are hard to get, yeah, I do have a guy in the UK, like from where my moldings came from, my thin side moldings for my EK, and also where I got my gauge cluster from. And then there's another guy in Japan that's a Honda dealer. He sells parts. So I actually just got the windshield moldings for a guy the other day for an EG. I don't know if you guys know how hard those are to find, but I got them for him for I believe 180 bucks shipped from Japan. Right now that molding you probably can't find it for under 200 bucks. So I did build a relationship with the one guy from Japan over the last 10 years. I've been ordering a bunch of stuff from him here and there. So sometimes he even goes out and finds things for me when really needed. So yeah, Royce, to answer your question, I just kind of, over the years, I just kind of know where to go look. Rodriguez Motorsports, no, I would never ever touch a single cam, B series, J series, F series. I've done them in the past, but after going K, I just wouldn't touch a single cam or a B series. They're just too old. It's hard to find good parts for them, and you just can't beat a K series. The technology on a stock K series is just unbeatable. I used to build LS VTECs, B20 VTECs, GSRs. I've never personally owned a Type R B series. My friend did have a Type R B series, and real nice engine. I want to say B series has the most nicest VTEC crossover, especially the GSR. I love the VTEC crossover on a GSR. But after working on the K series, man, I just wouldn't work on a B series. It just, I think maybe because I've been doing it for so long that the difference from working on a B series to a K series, just even the way the engine falls into the engine bay is just no comparison to the K. Yeah, thanks, Marco. I did post that car up just so people can see like one of my old builds. I have countless builds. I have a bunch of pictures of my old builds, but I didn't want to go too far into my past. I just kind of wanted to show you guys that I've been doing this for a while. So when you guys ask me questions, I'm not just answering because of what I did to my car. A lot of the questions that you guys are asking me are from the cars that I've built in the past. So I've had K20, K24, different K24s, different K20s, the K20A2, the K20Z1, the K20Z3. And I've personally handled each and every single one. I know the parts that they use. I know what parts need to be interchanged. I know the installation process. Like if you're gonna go K20Z1 transmission, you need the speed converter. If you're gonna go K20Z3, you need the cables and the speed converter. Just so many different things I've done in the past where I'm pretty familiar with it. Yeah, Royce, I actually didn't know that myself. until one day I actually called my local Honda dealership looking for a part. And this was a few years back. I was looking for a part, and I asked the guy what was the price on the part, and was it the best price they can do. So he told me that if I bring a price match sheet from a different Honda, but it has to be a Honda dealership. It can't be like AutoZone or stuff like that. It has to be from a Honda dealer. He told me that they would price match any Honda dealer. So ever since that guy told me that worked there, I just looked around and price matched it. And because I like to pick up my parts through Honda, that way I know I'm getting an authentic part. Even if I can get it $10 cheaper online if I order it, I won't order it. All I'll do is get the part number, call Honda, order it from Honda, and then get it straight from them. That way I can get a Honda receipt, and that way I know I have an authentic part. That's my reasoning of doing it that way. Where do you get your Ks from? So my K24s, they come from JDM, California. They have, I know the guy there, and he's a pretty cool guy. They have a good selection of engines. Sometimes they do run a little bit low because they sell so many of them. But that's where I get my K24s from. Now, when I go with the K20s, like the K20A2, the K20Z1, or the K20Z3, I try to buy an entire car. So if I'm looking for a RSX K20, I'll go buy an RSX Type S. If I'm looking for a K20Z3 full swap, I'll go buy a SI car, whatever year, 2006 through 2011. And try to find one with low miles and good condition, preferably if you can find it crashed, like from the back end or like by the rear door, stuff like that. That's how I get my parts. That's how I do it. That's my choice of doing it because you get to test out the part. Most of the time you get to start the car, you get to see the mileage, you get to shift the gears, things like that. So yeah, that's how I get the K20s. But the K24s, they come from a shop. Depending on what throttle body you have, you could possibly use the stock throttle cable. But like I'll show you on my car, since I did my Accord throttle body, I built my own throttle cable bracket, and it uses the stock throttle cable from the stock Civic EX. So yeah, guys, I really do appreciate you guys interacting with me. I see a lot of you guys did have a few questions already. So maybe for the guys on here right now, maybe if you guys want to get some questions together for next time, we'll probably do like a weekly thing, and that way I can interact with you guys more. I'll be able to keep you guys updated on some of the things that I do. I do plan on opening a shop here soon. I just want to get like a small garage and maybe do like small detailed work for guys that don't really understand how to do it. Maybe do a swap if you guys are, any of you guys out there are interested. I know there's 2 guys right now waiting for me to do a swap for them. I told them to hold off a little bit while I try to get this garage. And then once I do that, hopefully we get this thing to move. We get this thing to grow, make a little bit more income for myself. That way I can buy a nice trailer, get some nice slicks, and we're able to take the car to the track and kind of represent the Oem Worx name. Eventually I do want to compete. And because I was thinking about competing in the 11.5 class, I might not be going turbo. I talked to a few of my friends and a few of the people that I'm close with, and they told me, based on what I want to do, I should probably keep it all motor for now. And then once I'm done with the daily build, we could probably come back and focus on this and probably go turbo on that. So instead of adding any more money to this car, we're gonna try to do the garage thing, and then we're gonna try to get the car to the track. I'll answer a few more questions before I go. Do you ever use catch cans? No, I personally haven't used the catch can yet. I don't think there's enough blow by on the stock K24. And then with my little setup here, hybrid, when I bought this intake, they send you this little filter. So I did take the filter off, and I don't have any oil coming back out of the valve cover. Now, maybe later, once we make more power and we put the car on a different fuel, if I do notice we're getting oil coming from the valve cover, then yeah, I'll probably add like a small catch can, something nice and detailed, which I might be making anyway, because it's gonna be part of the parts that I want to put on my parts list when I do start offering parts to some of the guys. I've had a lot of guys ask me for links. I've had a bunch of guys ask me, can I build their fuel system? I've had a bunch of guys ask me, can I help do their swap? Stuff like that. So I have a few ideas in mind, just to make it easier on those guys that do want to do a build. Maybe just create like a real simple website and carry some of the simple parts that you need to get your car running. That way guys aren't searching all over the world trying to get these simple parts. T-depths is really hard to explain. How would I do my setup? I mean, I would probably just try to make it as simple as possible, as clean as possible. So once I do go there, I'll probably share with you guys. I know they sell valve covers now with an AN fitting at the end, where you can just attach an 90, which the AN line will just go straight down, and you'll be able to tuck it like by your fuel. Let me show you guys so you can get an idea. So there's a few guys going and fitting from here. So if I were to do mine, I would probably do like an 8 and then do a 90, have the 90 come down somewhere down in here. And what I would do is probably put like my catch can like somewhere down there where you really can't see it, something small down here. And that's how I would run mine. A lot of guys just go straight across right here, but I don't like the whole line thing, like running all crazy in the engine bay. So that's how I would run mine if I were to do a catch can. I don't need one for the basic setup. What do you think about the B series throttle body in a K? I personally haven't done it. I have heard about it because guys are blowing the TPS sensor. I'm not sure why, if that's due to like a fuel, because of the tune or the throttle bodies that they're using. But I did hear that people are using the B series throttle body to keep the reliability of the B series TPS sensor. But yeah, guys, hope I was able to help you guys a little bit. Like I said, we'll probably be doing this weekly. I do appreciate everybody that jumped on here. I was going to say earlier, if you guys have any friends, tell them to go over to Instagram. Probably going to be doing some Instagram lives there too. Just a little bit more simple. A lot more people are on Instagram versus on YouTube. So yeah, man, keep you guys updated. I appreciate you all, and thanks for the support.